Hello students, my name is Kumari Neha. I am working at Bharati Dasanar Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Arakonam, and the topic for today which we are going to see is from class 9th chemistry, and the lesson name is chemical changes and the reaction. So let's see what this particular lesson means. So students, before coming to a chemical change, we should know exactly what are the changes, right? So chemical and physical changes are related to its physical and chemical property. For example, I am taking here right now this pen. Now this pen is made up of some kind of metal or some kind of things, right? So how we will define that, what is the composition of this pen? So for that we are doing the study of chemical and physical changes. So first we will discuss about the physical changes. So physical changes are the type of changes where there is no change in the composition even after the reaction has been taking place, right? For example, ice. Now this ice, when it's absorbing heat, it gets converted into water. But can you tell me whether this can be reversed? Yes, you are right. This can be reversed, that is, the water can be again converted into ice, and this is called as physical change, because here we are seeing the change in the state from solid to liquid. But here the composition, that is in ice it is still H2O, and in water also it's still H2O. So here we are going to see few examples of physical changes. So crushing of can. So if you are taking a can and you are crushing it, again when you are bringing it up or you are using it again, you can use it. It will still be a can, right? Even only the change in the shape is there. Same way, breaking of bottle. When a glass bottle is broken, that time still the pieces of that glass will remain as that particular glass. The composition of it is not changing. Only one thing is changing, that is shape. It is becoming smaller, right? And third is physical change, that there can be change in the state. So change in the state is, it can be a vaporization, that is when water heated, it gets converted into vapor, right? So this is a type of physical change. Now let's come to the chemical change. In chemical change, here you have seen three diagrams, right? First, I will tell you what is chemical change. So chemical change is a change where a particular concept, that is the initial product or initial reactant, will change entirely to form a new product. So here, for example, cooking of egg. So when you are taking the egg raw, it's some kind of whitish, yellowish inside, right? It was liquid or semi-liquid type. But when you are heating it, it will absorb the heat and it will become an omelette. So now tell me whether this omelette you can convert it back? No, right? So that is why it is known as a chemical change. So Madhumita, you tell me, what is this? Yes, this is rusting of iron. So what is rusting of iron? When the iron absorbs the energy, or you can call it as liquid, that is the moisture and the heat energy, it changes into iron oxide or hydroxide because of the presence of moisture in the air, and it will get converted into rust. That rust is what? Okay, Bhuvneshwari, you tell me what is rust? Rust is the powdery particle which is present on the surface of a metal. That metal is iron. Now this is burning of wood. Now when you are heating the wood will get converted into ashes or small particles. Now these small particles cannot be converted back. So that is why this is also a chemical change. Now let's see chemical change, and here these are the change of states. So these change of states can be in a physical form or a chemical form. So here whenever we are taking three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas, here we will see the conversion. So this conversion, okay, you tell me Akshaya, how to change the particular ice into water? Very good. The changing of ice into water, the process is called melting. Same way here, we are not going to discuss about all this, but it is a factor which involves change in the state. It can be a physical change or it can be a chemical change. So chemical changes, first here we are seeing what is the exact definition of it. So a change which alters a specific property of a material by which it's bringing a molecular composition changes, that is called a chemical change. So here I have taken the examples which all of you love. What is that? That is cake, right? So here is the batter. The batter is, they will add maida, egg and everything to make a batter. Now this batter is shifted in the can. Now this can, when we keep it in oven, after removing it, it gets converted into cake. Now this cake cannot be brought back to the batter again. So that is why it's called a chemical change, right? Now we have to see what are the characteristics of a physical or a chemical change. So here we are discussing about chemical changes. So here we are going to discuss what are the main components why a chemical change is occurring, right? So here the first point or the first characteristic is a change results in the formation of at least one or more new products. Okay. So here you can see that I have given an example of sugar candy. Now this sugar candy, here the formula I have written is. So the formula of this sugar candy is C12H22 and O11. So this is also known as sucrose. Sucrose. S and E, sucrose. So this sucrose is the sugar. This is the chemical name of sugar. Okay students. So here you can see that the part of the white candy is converted into blackish, that is brown in color. That brownish color is carbon. What it is? Carbon. C-A-R-B-O-N. Carbon. And here the steam is going up. So steam here is nothing but it is water, H2O. What it is? It is water, right? So this is the first property. In the first property we have learned that whenever you are applying heat or it absorbs heat, that time there will be change in the composition, that is a new product will be formed, right? Now let's see the second topic. Now in the second topic you can see that now here the weight of the substance undergoing a chemical change usually changes, right? So again here we are taking the example of sugar. So sugar here we have taken, when sugar is heated, it is heated, it gets converted back into a brown color particle and you can see the quantity of the sugar gets less, right? Now what we are saying here is a chemical change will always be present when there is a change in the weight. But logically, according to Anthony Lavoisier, he said the law of conservation of mass. What was the law of conservation of mass, Darshini? Okay, you tell me. Right. Law of conservation of mass is when a reactant is having a particular kind of weight, it will be remaining same when the particular kind of weight is same for the reactant. So we can here say that the weight of or mass of weight of what? Weight of product will always be equal to weight of reactant. So here we are saying that the weight of this sugar and the melted or the burnt sugar is same. But students, there is a main point in this. The main point is that if we are seeing that this quantity is very less. So ma'am, how you can say that this is equal weight? So students, how we can say that the masses are equal whenever we are heating a substance. For example, I am taking this sugar and I cover this, some amount of heat is coming out, right? That vapors, that here what was coming out in the previous case? There was carbon plus H2O. So here H2O is going as steam. For example, if we preserve that H2O and the carbon which is present here, then the weight of this burnt sugar plus the water will be equal to the sugar, right? Very good. Now let's come to the third property. So in third property, what we are going to discuss is a chemical change is always permanent and it is irreversible. So here you can see in the diagram that this is what? This is a firewood. Firewood. So here what you can see that whenever a firewood is heated, there the temperature increases. This indicates the temperature increase. That is, T is increasing here because of the heat here, right? So after some time when you are seeing the wood will directly get converted into ashes, or you can call it as burnt wood. Now this burnt wood, or you can call it as ash, cannot be converted back, right? Now this reaction cannot be got back to the first reaction. That is why it is known as an irreversible and a permanent change. Here we have taken this example, and one more example what we can take it as, whenever you are taking a green mango, that is raw mango, that raw mango when you keep it under for some period of time, you will see that it gets converted into yellow color, right? Now tell me, Darshini, whether this yellow color can be converted back? No, right? The raw, or you can call it as the rot mango, the yellow mango which we all love, here it cannot be converted back into the raw mango. So that is why it is also a reversible or irreversible reaction, right? Now let's come to the fourth property. In the fourth property, here you can see that during a chemical change, energy is either absorbed or it is given out. So two things happen whenever the energy is coming in or it is going out. Okay, so here we can see that whenever the energy is going out, that is we are removing energy, that is we are cooling a particular ornament or a substance, it will make bonds. See, whenever it's too cold, that time you people will be cozy, right? Same way, when it is too hot, you want everything should be open, right? When it is open, you will feel that more amount of air is coming inside. So we can say here, whenever the energy is coming outside, that time the formation of bond will be there. That is, there will be attaching of the bonds. Same way, when the heat is given, I said you an example, right? Whenever it's too hot, we'll be like, oh my god, it's so hot, right? So that is why here the breaking of bond will be there, because we need to be apart because of the heat which is around. Now let's come to the next topic. So next topic, I told you about the heat, right? So there are two types of heat transfers, or you can call it as energy transfers. One is endothermic and another is exothermic. See students, endo means inside, exo means outside. So endo means it will absorb the heat. So see the diagram here. Here there is what? This is what? This is ice. Now when this ice is absorbing the heat from outside, it will get converted into water. Same way, that is why it is called as endothermic. It is taking the energy, it is taking the heat, right? And the endothermic reaction is cooler than the surrounding. So whenever endothermic reactions are taking place, when this reaction is taking place, it will be more cool than the surroundings. Same way here, when energy is applied, here it becomes more cold, but outside it will be hot. Only then there is a transfer of heat. Same way come to exothermic. In exothermic, energy is too much inside. That is why it wants to release the energy. When it is releasing the energy, it will give out the energy and the surroundings will become hot. It is cool, right? Now when the energy is released, it will become little hot. But when we are comparing the heat between the surrounding and the body, which is getting the removing of hydrogen, or you can call it as any type of heat energy, then it is called exothermic reaction. Exo is removal, endo is. So students, now let's see what are the examples of exothermic or endothermic reaction. So first we are seeing the endothermic reaction. So what did I tell you? Endo means it will take the energy or it is having a kind of energy inside it, right? So first example here we are going to see is heating of mercuric oxide to form mercury and oxygen. So here in this reaction or in this diagram you can see that first it's in orange color. So mercuric oxide is orange in color. When the heat is absorbed, it gets converted into black or brownish. So that black brownish is nothing but it's the mercury, and above you can see some whitish, right? This whitish is oxygen. This oxygen is getting attached to the slides of the test tube. Now come to the next example. In this example here we have taken the green color calcium carbonate. Now this calcium carbonate is generally in green color. So when it will absorb the heat, that is endothermic reaction, that time what will happen? That time it will get converted into calcium oxide and it will liberate carbon dioxide. So here you can see that green gets converted into black, and this side you can see that here we have kept the lime soda. So lime soda, whenever it absorbs carbon dioxide gas, it will form bubbles, right? I hope you have understood till here. Now let's come to the next, that is exothermic reactions examples. So in that first example which we are going to see is a candle. Whenever a candle is lightened, that time it liberates out heat energy and also light energy. Same way, when you are taking the example of respiration, respiration means when you are inhaling and you are exhaling the air. When you are exhaling the air, that time you are removing the air from your body. So that is why you are calling it as a exothermic reaction. So see here, the gas is coming out, right? So this is an exothermic reaction. Now let's see some examples in which chemical changes are being involved. So here first we will see what is the chemical change. The first chemical change is burning of magnesium in air. So in this diagram you can see that there is a candle. When the magnesium ribbon is brought near to the candle, it lightens, it is lightening, it is showing some lights, that is energy is liberated out. So the formula of magnesium is Mg. Oxygen is the surrounding oxygen, it becomes magnesium oxide. What it becomes? Magnesium oxide. Now see the second. In second one is rusting of iron. So the brown color particle which I told you earlier, the formation of that particle on this above surface is called rusting, and the particles which are brown in color are called rust. And this is the example. So here iron is Fe, oxygen is from surrounding, and H2O is water, or you can call it as moisture, okay. So when all of this combines, it becomes hydrated iron 3 oxide, which is the rust. Hydrated, why we are calling it? Because it is having water in it, right. Now see the third one. So in third one you can see burning of LPG or any kind of gases which are used in your house cylinders. So here the flame which is coming out, it is bluish in color, right. So this bluish, and when the gas is going to get over, it becomes little orangish or reddish. You just ask your mother, she will get to know whenever the cylinder is getting over. So here the gas which is used is butane. So when this butane reacts with the oxygen which is there in the surrounding, it gets converted into carbon dioxide and water. Water is what? Water is moisture which is present next to that. Now some examples which we generally know what is happening in nature. So let's see this topic. So in this topic we are going to see what are the things. So here first what we can see. Here first we can see that the wood is getting burnt. As I told you earlier, whenever the wood is there and it is heated, it will get converted into ash. Now this ash cannot be converted back again. That is why it's called a chemical reaction or chemical change. Same way here is digestion of food. See here, the food is getting breakdown, right? Now this broken food cannot be coming out, right? So that is why it's also a chemical change. Here this is called curdling of milk. Curdling is nothing but when the curd is made from the milk. So that is known as curdling. After curdling, you cannot take back the milk or you cannot get back the milk, right? So that is why it's called a chemical change. Now here you can see a green color strawberry. After some time this green gets converted into red. Red is the strawberry which we eat. So this is a ripening of strawberry and it cannot be reversed. Same way here, baking of cake. First example I gave you that all of us love, right? So this is cake. So students, I hope you have understood what are the characteristics of a chemical change. We have discussed about the chemical and the physical change both with the example. I hope you enjoyed the class. Stay home, stay safe and always concentrate on your studies. Okay, bye bye.
Nalini Amurtha's father, UKG-லேருந்து 8th standard படிக்கிறாங்க. இப்போ அது 5:30 to 6:30 வந்து கிரவுண்ட் ரன்னிங் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிவிட்டு பாடி எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணிவிட்டு அப்படியே ஸ்கூல் அட்டன் பண்ணிவிட்டு மத்தியானம் மேலே மதர் தெரேசா அகாடமிலையும் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. மெட்ராஸில் MEMலும் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. நேஷனல் லெவலில் வந்து கோல்டு அடிச்சிருக்காங்க.